चल ठीक ठाक है
नहीं
ठीक ठाक नहीं है
थोड़ी better
हाँ थोड़ा थोड़ा फर्क है चलो अच्छी बात है we are already online
Yes, we are.
oh okay better behave
We have a live chat.
how did that live chat come up
There is live chat somewhere.
really what are they saying
Good morning, I'm not getting sound.
put the sound off it and turn it on again
Maybe it's one from previous.
we have to reboot the whole thing
Swamiji, it might be a message from previous
Before.
connection because
it's doing what it's supposed to
yeah.
ठीक है
ठीक है.
ॐ सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ नमो भगवते वैवस्वताय मृत्यवे ब्रह्मविद्या आचार्याय नचिकेतसे च Nachiketa cannot wait because after a lot of difficulties the teaching has finally begun and the teaching begins with a big bang. What is the big bang? What sound did the big bang make? Om. Really, that is what we also say in a certain way. There is a belief that when Brahmaji, this is not to be confused with Brahman, this is Bhagavan in the form of the creator, like Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, like that, in terms of the aspects or the manifestations, functions of Ishvara. So when Brahmaji created the universe, it was so infallible and he was very happy with himself. The story goes in the Purana, and he said two words. First he said Om, and Om has become the sound of creation, the sound of all sounds, and therefore it is holy because a sound that creates something so infallible as the Jagat, I mean, the people who are in samsara may say, what is this you're praising this Jagat? What is there to be praised about this Jagat? This Jagat is full of sorrow, this Jagat is full of pain, this Jagat is full of all kinds of things, And you say this Jagat includes the body, mind, sense complex. And the body is also, growing old as we speak. And the mind, less said about it, the better. In other words, what should we say about the mind? Never mind. Yeah. So, and the senses are senseless. They are driving me senseless or they are in themselves senseless. And all the neighbors, I wish they were not there. I wish they would move out and sell their house. And I wish all the new people that come also, would be more conducive to me. But that doesn't happen. From in-laws to outlaws and outlaws who behave like in-laws, the Jagat is not a happy place. So what are you doing praising the Jagat? Well, what is there to praise? Really speaking, this is the voice of samsara. There was one radio show, Voice of America. Yeah. So like this is the voice of samsara, or rather, the voice of the samsari. What's the difference between samsara and the samsari?
The one who buys it.
The one who is afflicted with samsara. Samsara asya asti iti samsarin, like sannyasin, samsari for short. Yeah, how it declines. So this is the samsari. The samsari's view is what? Is the samsari is wearing the dark glasses of ignorance. thinking he or she looks very cool, because sometimes, in India, in fact, the sunglasses are called cooling glasses. So the person thinks I'm looking very cool, I'm wonderful, because everybody else is also wearing the same. But when you wear the dark glasses of ignorance, the whole world is about as exciting as a downpour. What is happening outside, That's what it is, because with the eyes of ignorance, what do you see? Only sorrow, only pain, only fear, only everything I have to protect myself from, all this pain and sorrow. But when you take off the Upanetram, what is Upanetram?
Glasses.
How do we know? Because we had studied this and also had a quiz about it, many quizzes. So, if we take away the Ajnana Upanetram, Upanetre, why Netre? Two. If we take away the Ajnana Upanetram, if we take away the dark glasses of ignorance, dark because they distort it, maybe not the, maybe not dark, but there's different colors, they distort it and they make the world look like a very dull place. And so when you take away the Upanetram, the sunglasses of ignorance, the sun of the Atma shines, and as it is. And the world, we discover there is the rediscovery of the universe as a beautiful, benign manifestation. There is nothing wrong with the universe. What is wrong is how I deal with myself and how I deal with others based on a certain insufficiency about what I am. So when what I am not overtakes what I am, this is what happens. This is one more way to get quickly into samsara. Another way is what? I take myself to be what I am not, and I do not take myself to be what I am. This is the recipe for samsara. These are the two main ingredients to put in the samsara soup. And so therefore, but when we remove the eyes of ignorance and look at the Jagat, what you see is just all these possibilities collapsing. All these possibilities, each one more intelligently crafted than the other. You see it, you see the order. You don't see disorder, you see the order. And what about the disorder? The disorder becomes subsumed inside the order. The disorder is also accommodated in an order, which is what we just studied, anyatra dharmat, anyatra adharmat. That which is beyond, what is that? Good and bad and these dichotomies of the mind. So we already saw that, we studied that. And so therefore it is a mega order that even accommodates disorder. And in this mega order we see the manifestation of the infallible. We see the presence of the infallible, and the presence of the infallible is felt either delightfully or painfully in all the situations I cannot control. So that infallible, the presence of that infallible in my life is non-separate from that presence which cognizes the presence of the infallible. You see the oneness here. So the presence that cognizes that there is something infallible, and the infallible order of the universe is one presence alone, split into knower known. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Say yes.
Yes.
Good. So, so this is what it is, the same presence. Aham. That aham is itself saha. That saha means that order, which is that conscious entity, somebody must be in charge, correct? We cannot sort of have some kind of a chaotic universe just suddenly came into being. Suddenly a bunch of molecules decided to be kidney, and suddenly another bunch of molecules decided to be what? Liver. This doesn't happen. There is an order. There is an intelligence, and I can relate to that because I have my own intelligence and I can do things with my own intelligence. And so this intelligent presence that is cognizing that intelligent presence is only one presence, which is jnanam, which is knowledge, really, which is split into knower known when I cognize it in the form of that order. But otherwise it is beyond any kind of language, beyond any kind of categories. And this is what is referred to by the word Om, which swallows up the whole universe, which coughs up the whole universe also. So in terms of the origin of the universe, two other important notes here. So going back to the story, Lord Brahmaji said, the story goes, he said two words. What was one? Om. What was the second one?
Oh no.
No. No, that's what the Jiva said. Oh no, I'm separate. So, but Lord Brahmaji said one more word, Atha. Yeah, Atha. Yeah. And so since the holy beginning of the universe started with these two sounds, Om and Atha, they are called Mangala Vajakau, because when you hear, so they become sound symbols, and when you hear the sound Om, something wonderful is going to happen. It's a sound of blessing, it's an auspicious sound. And even when you enunciate Om, what happens? It's a blues chaser. Yeah, try it. Yeah, try it. When you're feeling very confused and whatnot, belt out a few Oms. What do you have to lose? Nothing. See if it works. Very powerful. And so this Om is a mantra in itself. It's the mantra. It's the Moola mantra, the primary mantra for all mantras. When you say Namah Shivaya, what do you say? Om Namah Shivaya. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva. Devaya. And even Gayatri mantra. Tatsa Viturvare Enyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi. Om Tatsa Viturvare Enyam. So the Om becomes a what should I say? It's the sound in every mantra. And since that word Om symbolizes the whole, the seer seen, knower known, waker, sleeper, dreamer on the individual level, the waking Jagat, the waking Jagat along with the maker of the Jagat, the waking Ishvara in the form of what? Virat, to which the individual waker is relating all this. It symbolizes the whole thing, waker, sleeper, dreamer on the individual level, and the Jagat and the presence and the absence of the Jagat in between cycles of creation at the collective level. It symbolizes the seer, it symbolizes the seen, it symbolizes the non-separation between the seer and the seen. So in other words, Om is the truth of you. So there is really, if all the Vedanta Shastras appearing in so many Upanishads and in so many texts, like what are we studying, the monthly text, Dindima, and so many other things, it is appearing. And if all of them had to be collapsed, then collapse doesn't mean in the physicist sense, but more in the sense if it had to be just brought down into, distilled into one word, one syllable, it would be what? Om. So Om and Atha have become Mangala Vachakau. There is even a verse that celebrates that. Omkarascha athas shabdascha dvavetau brahmanah pura kantham bhitva viniryatau tasman mangalikau ubhau. Omkarah atha shabdah cha. What is cha? So Om and Atha, or if you really translate Om Atha and Omkarascha Atha Shabdascha. See, I told you when you write poetry you put cha in two places. Yeah. Omkara and what? Atha. So what happened? Dvavetau. That is, there is a sandhi there. Ayava sandhi is there. Dvavetau Brahmanaha, from Brahmaji, Kantham Bhitva, spontaneously they broke open from his throat at the conclusion, when he put the cherry on top of the universe, what did he say? Om and Atha. And since the creation is an infallible and the most sacred expression of Bhagavan, then what? Then the words that accompanied the most infallible and sacred expression of Bhagavan also become sacred by association. Yeah, so if you don't feel like saying Om, you can say Adha. Yeah, Adha. That Sanskrit movie, I think it was the Adi Shankara, at the end it says Adha, instead of saying finish or end, Adha. So this Om is a very big thing. And also, like we saw, linguistically it has a special significance. It's the first primal sound. Open your mouth, close your mouth, round off everything that comes in between. Ooh, ooh, becomes grammatically Om. So linguistically there is one way to look at it. Another way to look at it is also another way grammatically. Om comes from Av. Av means to protect. Avati, Rakshati. Avati, Avataha, Avanti. Rakshati. Raksha means to protect. So that which protects is Om. From what? From samsara. What is samsara? Fear and sorrow. Blues. That's what. Not to be confused with the genre of music. So this it protects from fear, it protects from sorrow. Why? Because in the power of its enunciation is such that it unites everything and it shows the truth right then and there. Which is exactly why later on in the tradition they came up with a rule. What is the rule? Women should not chant Om. What? Yeah, women should not chant Om. And why? Because chanting of Om gives space from all those kleshas. Kleshas are just exactly as those sound, afflictions. So all those kleshas, kalushas, inside and out, it gives a certain space. You don't identify with it as much, so you're able to see very clearly. You have viveka. More importantly, you have what? It gives vairagya. And if you keep saying Om, 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 Om all the time, certain renunciatory tendencies, not in a bad way, arise within the heart. Correct? Yeah. And if women start to go away to the forest, who will cook? Who will clean? Who will do laundry? And most importantly, who will take care of children? So it's very clear who made the rule. Women should not chant the Om. Who made the rule? Ah. So this is what it is really. But you know, the truth is, if renouncing the world was so easy, if just by saying Om you can renounce the world, everybody would have done it by now. Yeah, there would be more people wanting bhiksha and fewer people offering bhiksha. Bhiksha is a glorified term for the meal of a renunciant. Yeah, that is what it's called, you know. You have lunch, I have bhiksha. That's all. There is no difference, really. It's just a term. Because it means alms. So it means that whatever comes, you know, like a boa constrictor, you know, one eats. Whatever happens to pass by, one, you know, swallows. That's what, yeah, there are two kinds of vrittis, two kinds of livelihoods described for the sannyasi. One is called madhukari vritti. What is madhukara? Madhu is what? Madhu? Honey. Madhu karoti.
Made by honey.
Madhu, honey maker. Who is the honey maker? Huh? Bee. Yeah. Bee here. Don't go too high. This is just a regular term. So who is the honey maker? Bees. So madhukari vritti means the livelihood that is seen like the bee. And what does the bee do? It flits from flower to flower. So too the renunciant goes from house to house, you know, and takes, food from each person's house and eats until he or she is full. That is, one is called Madhukari Vritti. And the second one is called Ajagari Vritti. Ajagara is python. Yeah. Doesn't leave. Just sits in one place. Anything moves, pounces. Yes. And so both those livelihoods are okay. Why am I telling you this? Because I know you will start chanting Om, ye kaam mein aayega. This will be of use later on perhaps. So really speaking, the renunciatory tendencies that come from the chanting of Om are not to be feared. There is nothing to fear. The only time they become a problem is this particular situation called Ubhaya Brashtatvam. What is this mouthful of a word? Ubhaya means both. Here in this case neither. So Brashta means fallen. From brish to forcefully get derailed. So here is this person. Who is this person? Ajnani, our own jiva, our friendly jiva, who says, I am samsari, I am an idiot, I don't know who I am. And the person is not doing shravanam, not listening to the shastra. The person, doesn't know how to even spell Upanishad. And which shirt to use, doesn't know. And then the person is... So then the person is, told by a well-wisher, so-called well-wisher, no, I'm with because the well-wisher is perhaps sick of hearing them complain and say, just keep chanting Om, everything will be okay. And then what? The person chants Om, Om, Om. Up till now, this fellow was doing, at least going to the job, right? He was going to the job, he was coming home, he or she was cooking and doing the regular activity. Then Om gave Vairagya, the chanting of the Om gave Vairagya, and then what happened? Stopped going to office. Oh, had flex time? No, just no flex time. Lax time, that's all, Stopped going to office because had a strange sense of deja vu and didn't want to do anything. But then the mind is not clarified enough to pursue the knowledge, and so is not even going after the knowledge and has become neither here nor there. So for such people, therefore they say don't chant Om, and so and if you want to chant Om, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, put it in front of another mantra, so you get the benefit of the Om, but without the running away tendencies. So if somebody is sick of their life, you should not ask them to chant Om. Yeah. Why? Because that is not the real feeling of renunciation. There are two kinds of renunciations, feelings. One is called we saw this in the Vivek Chudamani. One is called Jihasa Vairagya. Jihasa is Hatum Ichha. The sudden feeling of I'm sick of my life, I want to give up everything, And this frequently happens. But this is the Jihasa Vairagya is also called Shmashana Vairagya. Shmashana means what? Huh?
A burning gut.
Burning ghat, correct. So this is a cremation ground Vairagya. What is this cremation ground Vairagya? You read in the paper, 20 children killed in the hand of some insane gunman. And they were all so small, had not even, tasted life. And here they are all gone. You think of the parents, you think of those little children. And then suddenly you feel like this is disgusting. This is beyond sick. What is this life about? Who knows when we will all go? How come we are even here? What will happen to us? What are we doing? This is like a sudden wake-up call. And in that sudden wake-up call, what will happen? You feel like leaving everything, You say, see, all this doesn't matter. Here I am obsessing about what to wear tomorrow. And it doesn't matter, because look at all these children. And here I am thinking about my own little problems, which brand of toothpaste I will buy. And it doesn't matter. We have to really look at what matters. And then the person is decided, I shouldn't waste my life. I should do something useful, something concrete. I should leave something meaningful behind. And then what? There is no salt in the food when the food is served. Then the person gets very angry. What happened? Why did you put the salt, at the significant other? So therefore what? That what happened to the vairagya? If the vairagya was real, what would have happened? The salt would not have, the blandness of the food would not have brought about a change in the temperament. So therefore, that there is a change in the temperament means what? The vairagya is not full blown. So this half-hearted vairagya, which is more as an impetus of the external events, it's not a wrong thing. It can also be nicely, combed and cleaned up and made into the real vairagya with a little bit more of viveka. It's a good starting place, but that is not the place to, chant this Om and get more confused. And so therefore we say that, so since after this whole bluff was called about women not chanting Om, now the latest on Om chanting is that leave the sannyasis to chant Om. Men, women, everyone. And so what should everybody do? You chant Om Namah Shivaya or Om this thing. So but I will say, what is that? I will say this, that if you chant a few Oms a day, nothing wrong. Just don't do it. Don't overdo it. Path of moderation. Everything is moderation. So now, those are the two things I wanted to mention. So now we have seen we seen or not, how the Om corresponds to the waker, dreamer, sleeper? Have we seen the whole thing? Briefly. Briefly, okay. So little more on that. Om, so I have given you many meanings. One is that it is Brahmavachaka Shabda. It is a word that instantly brings to mind Brahman, number one. Number two, linguistically, two derivations. One is A plus U plus M, which is, which is a universal, what is that? Human voice acoustics, which encompasses what it really means. So its Om is actually an onomatopoeia, because it's the whole world of sounds, beginning with A and ending with Ma, right? So it's exactly, what is an onomatopoeia? It's a figure of speech where the word is exactly how it sounds, like splash. When you say splash, splash sounds like a splash, correct? So that is an onomatopoeia. So Om is a big onomatopoeia, omomatopoeia maybe. And what does it signify? It signifies this entire universe of words. And also, very secretly, it signifies that the whole universe is just words. What else is there? Yeah, what is this? One word. What is this? Another word. Yeah. And then if I cut it up, chop it, put some coconut flakes and honey, what will that be?
Salad.
Fruit salad. A third word. Everything is just word and meaning, word and meaning. And if I tightly hold on to it and not move for 6 days, what will it be? Cider. Handmade apple cider. And then after that, what will it be? Compost. Right? So all word and meaning, 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 word and meaning. And all of it is, short form of it is what? Om. Because the first word, the first syllable, A, and the final syllable when the mouth is closed, encapsulates all the words in the whole universe. And by definition, by extension, the objects signified by those words also are brought in. because the objects are nothing but word. What else is there? This is just word and meaning. So if I say, you can, I will keep the word and meaning, but you can have the apple. What will you be left holding? Nothing. That's all. All there is word and meaning. So when I say apple is word and meaning. The is doesn't belong to the apple. Because if the is belonged to the apple, it would never become was. So we have a shifting is. Very shifty is. So the is goes from apple to fruit salad to compost. And then finally, where does it end up? Om. Om is the is that never was. Yeah. And never will be and never is subject to change. The is that is never subject to change, that never was and will never in the future also will be was. Some other day it will become was. No. That which always is uncreated, not subject to birth, not subject to end, and not subject to any kind of change, even though it is like a money lender which keeps lending its assets. What is its assets? Satchidananda. That is its asset. So it keeps lending its asset to everything in the universe. It sustains everything. So the whole universe is non-separate from Om. Apple is Om. Om is not apple. Banana is Om. Om is not banana. So Om is the word for that Brahman which never becomes was, which is the receptacle for everything that is, where ultimately the is stops here. There is an expression, the buck stops here. No, the Vedantic expression is what? The is stops here. Because Brahman is self-evident and limitless, it is the receptacle of all words and meanings without being any one word in itself. So beautiful. So therefore, even just opening the mouth, closing the mouth, all this comes. In that one word, the whole universe is captured. It's all Om. And then that was the first linguistic derivation. The second linguistic derivation we already saw. I'm just summing it up. What was the second one?
That which protects.
That which protects. Avati rakshati. Avati, ava, to protect, that which protects. So what protects? Brahman protects. How does Brahman protect? How does it protect?
From fear and sorrow.
From fear and sorrow, the knowledge, a known Brahman protects. Known Brahman protects from fear and sorrow. Actually speaking, an unknown Brahman also protects in the form of Ishvara. The person who is not ready to understand that I am the whole will have to go through another stage. This is what is accepted in the Shastra. This is in fact what is highly recommended also. And what is that stage? Use Brahman as an altar of surrender. That is also Brahman. Brahman as the altar of surrender is Brahman with another name and form. Like Dakshinamurti. It's an altar of surrender where all the fears and sorrows are dealt with at that level, so that I can understand, I can transcend that name and form also ultimately and understand myself as Om. That is the ultimate level. But we go in baby steps. So therefore, this is very beautiful. So avati rakshati on both levels. Sagunam va, nirgunam va. So another Sanskrit word. Cha means what?
And
Va means what? Or. Yeah. Sagunam va, nirgunam va. So if I look upon Brahman as formless truth of everything, that itself it protects, correct? How does it protect? Because I am no longer afraid. because there is no second thing to be afraid of. Fear requires two things. The other one, the person who is afraid, the frightened person, and that of which the person is frightened, that thing has to be there. So if all is one, and if there is nothing separate from me, where is the fear? There is no fear. So the avati rakshati. Then supposing I say, I'm not at that level yet, I can mentally conceptualize, okay, this is a good place to be. But where I am at the level of puk puk puk. What is puk puk puk? Yeah, it's the sound of fear. You know, like the heartbeat of a frightened person. And so I know that the cockroach is Brahman, right? Especially the Brazilian hissing cockroaches. Have you heard of those? Yeah, those are, maybe 6 to 10 inches, and they hiss. Yeah, the singing cockroaches. So, and then there are so many other things like those lizards and, all kinds of things are there. So I know that is Brahman, that, I know that, but I don't want to cohabit with it in the same room, This Brahman will stay in this room, and that Brahman can stay in that room, correct? So for such a person, afflicted with the fear and wanting to know, very truthful seeker, wanting to know, but not there yet. Still, even the unknown Brahman, avati rakshati. How? I'm going to, take this in two ways. One is in the form of, like, who do you think of when confronted with the aforementioned hissing or non-hissing cockroach and these lizards? And all other, so many other kinds of things are there in the universe. So, as soon as that thing comes to sight, even the most, renegade person will say, oh my God, where are you? So it evokes a certain kind of a bhakti of desperation, correct? These are the words of the Gita, not my words. Artha bhaktaha. Yeah, artha bhaktaha means those people who are bhaktas, who turn into devotees out of desperation when everything is coming so close. The flood is coming so close, the floodgates are, of the heart are being opened, there is no place to go, what to do. Okay, I have tried everything. I mean, this is the die-hard, Nastika. What is Nastika? The non-believer, the one who says, even by mistake I will not take the name of Ishvara, and makes sure to name the children not Ishvara names. And so therefore what, even that person in a moment of panic and desperation will say, are you there? Is this what is happening? I mean, if you are there and if you are hearing this, they will send Bhagavan one SMS. Yeah? Yeah, what is SMS? Save my soul. So this is called the devotion of desperation, correct? So in the devotion of desperation, what is, let us look at it from the point of view, from the standpoint of Bhagavan. So is Bhagavan going to say, aha, got you. Itna der kya kar raha tha? What you were doing? So many lifetimes. You were just sitting and, defying me. You were defying me, and I gave you a good life, and I gave you a good house, I gave you a good spouse, and I kept all these mice and lizards, everything away, because you had first world janma, and so I kept you away from all this, and this is how you are repaying. You are thinking of me only when you want something. You are so matlabi. What is matlabi? Only when you want something you are thinking of me. Do you think Bhagavan is going to say that? No. Bhagavan is going to say, in fact, what Bhagavan says in the Bhagavad Gita, udaraha te sarva, all kinds of devotion is valid. all devotees are exalted. At least he thought or she thought of this Bhagavan even in a moment of desperation, because they need not have thought. So it's some good karma coming to fruition, and they what should I say, the heart morphed into a certain kind of a spontaneous prayer, even because of anger or fear or desperation, doesn't matter, in that moment, and there is a certain flowering that happened, correct? So Ishvara, even for that devotee, protects. Avati Rakshati. Then also another way. So Sagunam Brahma protects. Nirgunam Brahma protects, because, Nirgunam Brahma doesn't protect in the form of Ishvara. Nirguna means formless. But protects more in the form of what? Knowledge. The knowledge protects from all anarthas, from all the samsaras. Samsara is kept at bay. And the third way also Ishvara protects is, what are the chances of encountering cockroaches and all this, Really, even lizards and, these, what are those other things, mice and rats. So many times, in India, this is a normal thing. They are in the same room. The living conditions are, and there is a certain nice territory there. They occupy the upstairs. You occupy the downstairs, meaning you are on the ground, and they are on the ceiling and on the walls, and you have taken them so much for granted that you think it's a little piece of decoration. You don't even miss them. I mean, you don't even see them. You only see them when they're not there. And if they're not there, you say, okay, this one has gone from this side to that side, okay. And once in a while, they'll do some click, click, click sound. And this is what they do in their spare time. And so, you learn to cohabit. And in fact, those lizards, they are not saying, how shall I fall on this fellow? How shall I make this person's life miserable? Neither are the cockroaches. Cockroaches also, there is a certain demarcation. Cockroaches say, you stay in the well-lit areas and leave all the shady, dirty, dusty areas to us. And so there also there is a certain kind of a living space demarcation. You feed us regularly, you don't have to do anything, just drop some crumbs while sitting on the couch and that's our dinner. This is what they will do. And but the chances of actually encountering and being injured by them is what really not there. So even on that level, Avati Rakshati, even in the form of one's own karmic retributions, Avati Rakshati. In fact, it happens so frequently that there is a book of, we are way off the class anyhow. So, there is a book of, there is a prophecy book. Did you know that? There is a prophecy book of falling lizards. And it's true. It is really true. If the lizard falls on the left hand, you'll get lots of money. If the lizard falls on the leg, you'll be traveling all year long. If the lizard falls on the head, not good news. And more than that they won't say. They don't want you to get more frightened. And then this is called Lal Kitab. What is Kitab? Book. Yeah, so this Lal is red books. This is Lal Kitab remedies. So there are remedies also in it. So there are remedial pujas that you can do if you are afflicted by these, these lizards and all these other things falling on certain, because it's a rare occurrence. It's not happening all the time. So they have actually studied what happens, and because the lizard is Bhagavan, is a manifestation of Bhagavan, and so the falling lizard is an omen of what is to come. It's not just superstition, it's a certain kind of an observed, kind of a thing. Some of it is of course superstition, and the remedies are so that you feel better afterwards, really, so that you have done something about it. So anyhow, so this is, so you see how important the word Om is, protect from everything. So it protects, so linguistically, grammatically we have seen that, and also it is a alambana. Alambana means the Shastra has loaded the word Om with a specific deliberate meaning for each of the syllables, A, U and Ma. Since A is a sound, what is that? The sound which is the first sound that comes, it is associated with a Vekar So the brings in the waker and the waking universe. What is the waking universe? The universe when I am awake? No, that is you. Waking universe means in, the expanding universe, you can say that. The universe which is still in the process of manifesting. The Vishnu aspect, of Bhagavan, in the sense of things are still changing, new species are still being discovered. Everything is still happening, unfolding. This is the waking universe. And so the brings in the waker and the corresponding waking universe. Can the waker live without the universe? No. So the two are actually together, correct? So the waker cannot be awake without a universe that is awake. So the awakened universe, along with the individual waker, comprises the syllable A. So it brings in the whole thing. So what is left? Nothing is left. The whole thing is there. So the waking universe is Bhagavan, the waker is the individual, and the word A symbolizes both. That means both are what? One. Both are Bhagavan, both are one. U symbolizes the dreamer and the dreaming universe. What is the dreaming universe? So kamayat bahusyam prajagyegeti satapotapyat. This tapas. Tapas here is jnanameva tapaha. Here in the Upanishad, in the Taittiriya Upanishad, Saha, this Bhagavan, visualized the universe before giving birth to it. That visualization, which is the mental blueprint of who is going to be your parent, who is going to be, your boss, who is going to be your neighbor, who is going to be your dog or cat or pet. This is all, it's a vast karmic order that is being unfolded. So nothing is an accident. Two people coming together, not an accident. Two people drifting apart, not an accident. Two people wanting to stay together but cannot because of so many circumstances, not an accident. And then two people wanting to be apart but have to stay together for certain other contiguous situations, contingencies, not an accident. There is a certain, order there. And so this is just the karmic order, correct? To visualize all this infallibly. Bhagavan is one, all the words are Bhagavan, and Bhagavan can use every word except oops. Yes. Ishvara's vocabulary, uh-oh and oops should not be there. Oh, this is what happens when I brought those two things together. Oops, sorry. Not there, correct?
Right.
Yeah, even the Almighty Bhagavan, does not have access to uh-oh and oops. And so that means what? The whole thing is so infallible. It's just a vast, unfolding, infallible creation. And and that visualization, it's not that Bhagavan has to have grey hairs and sleepless nights of what to do, how to bring these two people are not fitting into the puzzle. What to do. No, it's an effortless manifestation. And that manifesting Ishvara, that Hiranyagarbha, manifesting Ishvara, is known as the dreamer. Dreamer in the form of that visualizing Ishvara. It's not that, the visualization happened and then the creation happened. It's like all is happening at once. Because we are in a two-dimensional reality of time and space, we have to see it as pehle wo kiya, then this first the Ishvara visualized, and then Ishvara made something, and then Ishvara entered the what he had made or she had made. It's not like that. It's not some kind of a time-lapse video, no. It's all space and time are it's the event of creation is not happening in time. Space and time are also part of that manifestation. So time is relative, space is relative, everything is relative, Brahman is absolute, really. Om is absolute. So that Om manifesting into space and time and visualizing this whole universe is all happening simultaneously. And the dreamer, the individual Chota dreamer, Chota means what?
Small.
Small, helpless dreamer. What can this fellow dream? I won the lottery. Where? In the dream, of course. It's not happening in reality. Somebody told me this. I'm having this recurring dream. I said, oh, is it a nightmare? No, very pleasant, but it's very irritating. Why? Because I dream very frequently that I have won the lottery and I go to collect the prize, and just before they give the prize, I'm waking up. I said, this is karma. So this is the individual dream. It's a powerless little manifestation. In fact, it's good to have a rich dream life, we say. Why? Because all the things that one cannot have, one should not have in the life, comes in the form of dream. Suppressed desires, etc. It's better they go off in the form of dream. Yeah. You feel like strangling someone. You strangle them in the dream. It's better than, doing it in real life. So some karma has exhausted itself harmlessly. So the individual dreamer, even though the dreams are within the larger universe, within the larger, order of karma. So the individual dreamer's power is of dreaming is within the larger power of Bhagavan. It is not an independent power. Even then, the creation is still compared to the dream. Why is it compared to the dream? Because it has manifested without undergoing any change in the dreamer. So too, there is no change in Ishvara in producing this universe. Yeah. So the individual dreamer is actually like Ishvara in the sense that the dream is nothing but the knowledge and the memory of the dreamer. And the creation is nothing but the knowledge and memory of Ishvara. Ishvara has memory? Yes. From where? From the last cycle of creation. This is what it is. So beautiful. You see? So the knowledge and memory of Ishvara and the knowledge and memory of the individual give rise to these two Ardha Vikasa states, half waking, half asleep states, in which what? There is a whole world that I have created, which I myself am sustaining. It resolves into me, it comes out of me. And so too on the other side with Ishvara. Then how come I am not Ishvara? Are Baba, I am telling you, you are Ishvara. How do I understand that? Know the meaning of the word Om. This is what Nachiketa is told. Then finally what? What is this? Very good. Means resolution. It's the final sound. उसके बाद क्या है? Amatra. Amatra means what? No matra. What is matra? Enunciation. The time it takes to say one syllable. Short. Like say oo. How long does it take? Oo. Oo. Say it. Oo. Oo. And then if you want to make it a little longer, oo. 2. Right? That's how you have to silently count. And then there is also one more. This is hrasva, short. Oo. Ooh. Long. And then there is the third one. Ooh. 3. Beyond 3, you don't drag anything unless you're singing a song. If you're singing a song, you can say, hey, you can keep doing that, But if you're not singing, you don't drag out, beyond this 3. So this Om is 3 matras. Om, That is, you don't keep on sounding like a factory siren, in some in some places I have heard, You don't sound like a factory siren. Oh, it's like these big, what are they called? Bhongas. That's what they're called, Lunchtime. Yeah, so not like that. You just say Om, enough. And then that is the final matra, the final enunciation. And what is the final thing? Go to sleep. That's all. Sleep means resolution. It's that delightful state. What kind of a state? A delightful state of non-duality, to which unfortunately I am not awake. Every night I go into non-duality, and then every morning I wake up into duality. Sometimes even in Vedanta class I experience this kind of non-duality. Yeah. So this is sleep, and the individual sleeper is what the sleeper doesn't even know I am sleeping. Correct? When during the sleep, later on the sleeper recalls, I slept very well. I slept so well I did not know anything. Just for fun, we'll say it in Sanskrit. How's that? Sukhamaham. Aswapsam. Nakinchid. Avedisham. Yeah, I slept very well. Sukham means well, happily. Nakinchit, nothing at all. Not anything. Avedisham, I did not know anything. So that means what? That it is a resolution. Resolution of what? Thinker thought, seer seen, knower known, doer done in, everything. It's a complete resolution. Resolution of karta. Is the karta there in sleep? Say no. No. Is the bhokta there in sleep? No. Yes. How can you say I slept very well? Yeah. A kind of this is a trick question, because a kind of a modified bhokta is there. Yeah. Bhokta is an experiencer. So there is a modified, the bhokta goes into a causal level, and then the bhokta comes out upon waking, says, I slept so well I didn't even feel like getting up. I didn't even know I was asleep. So therefore, but the bhokta is there, but the bhokta doesn't know I am there. That's the very interesting, thing. So there is no doer in sleep. Is there action in sleep? Yes, because I turn around and hit the person in the other room. But you cannot be culpable for that action. Why? Because there is no free will operating in sleep. It is not intentional. In fact, the latest defense is all these sleepwalking robberies. Yeah, the sleepwalking klepto is going around. Who is klepto? Is the one given to stealing. Doesn't steal a thing while awake. I have no idea of the time. I'm having so much fun. So, yeah, almost time. Doesn't know I am, asleep. And then while awake doesn't do anything. But while asleep goes and relieves, the pockets and pocket books of all the people in the area, giving them instant opportunities to gain vairagya. First viveka, meaning what? Don't be in the same dormitory as this person. Then vairagya, what is this life anyway? What is money? What is time? Like this. So anyhow, the sleeper is not culpable for the action. Why? Because the doership is not there in sleep. So, therefore there is no duality. There is only the experience of sleep which is recalled later as an experience of nothing really. Correct? We are not talking dream, we are talking sleep. So therefore what? Therefore there is a resolution of duality, which is itself the first key for the latent budding mumukshu. Who is a budding mumukshu? Who has a few tugs at the heartstrings, of like, what is this life about? What is this yearning about? What am I really wanting? And what is the person is really wanting is this oneness. And other than immediately go to sleep, one doesn't know how to get the oneness. Which is why when people start to meditate, what do? Fall asleep. When people first start attending Vedanta classes, what do? Fall asleep. Because that's the only kind of oneness and relaxation they know. So by association, sleep comes. So the sleep is a resolution of that duality. And then the duality, seer, seen, knower, known, myself, Ishvara, Jiva, Ishvara, all dualities are gone. That is at the individual level. And the collective sleep is also not, any dissimilar than this. The collective sleep is what? All the jivas, and along with their complaints, go into a causal form. Why? Because the whole Jagat is resolved from which it came. And we already saw in the dream, the Jagat is like a dream of Ishvara, and it goes back to Ishvara along with the complaining jivas. When does this happen? When the time of what is called pralaya comes. And what is pralaya? Resolution. Laya, individual sleep. Pralaya, resolution of the universe. Why Ishvara gets a pra? Pra means it's a special kind of laya. Yeah. Individual, just laya. Laya means a certain absorption of all the dualities. A certain, cessation of that duality. And so here, at the individual level of the cessation of the duality and the collective level of the cessation of duality, it's exactly the same. So we have Vishwa, the individual waker. I'm going to take a few more minutes. So Vishwa, individual waker, and the corresponding is what?
Vira.
Waking universe is called Virat. And then we have the Taijasa, individual dreamer. Taijasa. And then at the other level, what do we have? Hiranyagarbha. And then Pragya. Pragya means Prakarshena Agnya, the one who doesn't know, that I don't even know. Yeah, in sleep. And the collective level we have Ishvara. Ishvara. Because ultimately that presence alone is, but that presence is the unmanifest presence, which is the I, and the manifest presence. That is the waker and the sleeper. The unmanifest presence. So in the individual sleep experience, the I goes into a state of demanifestation. There is no I. Even if you call out the person's name, they may not answer the first time. 50th time they may answer. And so many stories are coming. I'll have to save it for next time. So, and sometimes, like that Kumbhakarna, there was a big thing. Who is Kumbhakarna? Ravana's younger brother. Yeah. Got a blessing from Ishvara, because, Ravana called him and said, ask for Nitya. What is Nitya? Eternal. And he didn't even know how to say Nitya. What did he say? Nidra. And he went to sleep immediately because Shiva said Tathastu. And he was lying like a heap, like a little cliff there. Spencer's Butte. He was lying there like that. How to take him home? Ravana said, oh my God, what have you done? How am I going to take him back to Sri Lanka? And he was in the Himalayas. And he said, please, we have to make a wheelbarrow so big to carry this mountain. He was huge, big fellow. And so then Shiva said, I cannot take back the curse, but I give a reprieve, because not a curse, the blessing, once it's given, it cannot be taken back, but I'll give a reprieve. Like the bear, half the year he will be awake, half the year he will be sleeping, and nothing will wake him up. So you see, he was very lucky. He got non-duality in a very, nice way without having study Vedanta. So the individual sleep is the cessation of duality, correct? You can't wake the person up, even there is no I there. There is a cessation of the I, the resolution of the I. And the collective collapsing of this whole manifest universe, the demanifestation of the universe, is not so much a demanifestation but a cessation of that I, really, as a separate being. Yes. A cessation of that I as a manifest universe. So again, there is only one I, and in the individual sleeper also, it's that the sleeper is with Ishvara, and the demanifest Jiva is also with Ishvara. All there is that Ishvara in the form of the unmanifest Sat Chit Ananda. That I, that existence, that presence, which is the existence of everything, which is a conscious existence, which is a limitless existence, is in a causal form without manifesting as all names and forms. In the waking universe, it is manifest as all names and forms. That's the only difference. So this is what is called alambana. Alambana means the special loading of the word Om with all these specific meanings by the Mandukya Upanishad. I mean, you should study the Mandukya Upanishad. It is so beautiful. This is what it deals with. Not Mundaka, Mandukya. Beautiful. It's a wonderful thing to study. And so this is where I'm just saying it in short. So this is what is Om. So when you say Om, it brings in the universe, it brings in the presence which upholds the whole universe. It brings in the non-difference of that presence with my own presence, which is the same presence. Despite these differences, it transcends all dualities, and therefore it is seen as the most sacred sound, whose meaning, when I understand, all sorrow and fear goes. And also this particular Kathopanishad says, Yo yad ichhasi tasya tatu. Yo yad ichhasi, whatever you want, you gain. Because what? The only thing that when you know that one thing which is everything, when you know of the truth of the apple, orange, banana, then these individual manifestations don't matter, because when you know that one thing, knowing which everything is as well as known, when you have gained that one thing, you have gained everything. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. We had fun, right? Yeah. Any questions are there? Because that was a lot that was covered.
May I ask a question from the last time?
Sure.
Part of the questioning led to talking about reincarnation into a form that has subtle body.
Into?
A form that has subtle body.
Subtle body, yes.
Okay, so still say this is plastic, this doesn't have subtle body.
No.
Is that just part of the order of the universe?
Yes, that Chara and Achara. Chara means that which moves, and Achara, that which doesn't move. Sthavara and Janghama, it's the same thing. So, certain things have subtle bodies, certain things, the subtle body is not there. That's all, that's all it is. It doesn't mean it is any less holy. It doesn't mean that it is not Brahman. It is also Satchitananda. Rock is Satchitananda. The only difference between the rock and the person is that the rock cannot say I rock. The person says I rock. Yeah.
The subtle body is just mind and intelligence.
No, subtle body is Vagadi Pancha, Shravanadi Pancha. So there is a subtle body is the subtle 5 elements, the mind, Chitta, Ahankara, Manaha, and one more is there, Buddhi. And then we have the 5 Indriyas,
Yes.
Jnana Indriyas, 5 Pranas. Yeah. So 5 Pranas, and the subtle aspects of the 5 organs of action, which is also engineered by that, and desires, and which is part of the memory and the mind. All these, the 17 things are called the subtle body. And this is what travels from body to body. And that's why suddenly you find so the parents worried about the child because the child is not like either of them. Even though it has their DNA, it acts completely different. Why? Because it has brought its personality from other many lifetimes. They sometimes wonder, did we give birth to you? Why are you behaving like this? So, this is the explanation, we say. So, the subtle body travels. Why does it travel? Because the original reason why it is looking for gross bodies, gross not in yak gross, but gross as in opposite of subtle gross. And so why is it looking for gross bodies? Because that original desire to be one with everything has not been satiated. So it keeps repeatedly being born again and again in the hope that this knowledge will come. So the subtle body of the person who knows I am the whole, who knows the meaning of the word Om, does not travel. Natasya pranaha utkramanti. The subtle body, for such person, the prana doesn't come back. That's what the whole idea is. Okay? Oh.